let's take a look at our top selections. Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at race number 5 at Belmont Park. It's the Grade 1 Frizette for 2-year-old fillies. Let's take a peek at this field. We are going a one-turn mile. Obviously, this race is a prep for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies. $250,000 is the purse. The number 2, Cantata, one of the more impressive debut winners we saw at Saratoga this summer. For Steve Asmussen, Mike's the 9-5 morning line favorite. And even though she's facing the winner of the Spinaway, she's facing the winner of the Schuylerville, and she's facing some other very nice 2-year-olds, I guess she does deserve to be the favorite off that win.
I mean, she was impressive winning first time out. We'll see. You're right, though, Dan, because she's facing a couple of graded stakes winners, and both of those horses ran faster than she did in that maiden win. So we'll see what happens, but certainly this horse was impressive first time out.
She came from off the pace in her career debut, and the pace should be fast according to Timeform US. We throw up the pace projector for this year's edition of the Frizette. Vaquist down on the inside, Day out of the office, the 5, and even the 7, Fifth Risk expected to show some speed. I would think the 4, Joy's Rocket, has to be involved as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Dan. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with Joy's Rocket, who hasn't run on a fast dirt track yet, but it seems like she handles anything, and she's pretty fast early.
Vaquist won her maiden in her second lifetime start in the Spinaway. We're going to watch the race right now. She beat 2 minor next out winners. She prompted the pace in between horses, pressed on the outside. She's taken over the lead right now. And even though she did beat 2 next out winners, you didn't get the feeling that this was a vintage renewal of the Spinaway, but it's hard to knock this final furlong. She draws away and she wins as much the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. I mean, this was a weak edition of the Spinaway on the way in. I didn't feel personally that much better about it after it was over, Dan. To me, it was just an ugly race. And that's not a knock on Vaquist. She ran well in there. She earned an 83 buyer. She was way too good for those horses. And listen, she's run well in both of her starts. I guess she's a contender in here, but I just don't love the Spinaway as a race.
Cantata, the number 2, perhaps maybe another sensational filly by Medaglia d'Oro, who has sired many of them over the years. This horse sold for a lot of money as a yearling. Asmussen having an unbelievable year with his 2-year-olds. Cantata, no exception. Let's watch the debut. She was bet down like they knew she was going to win. She sat on the outside in a very good trip. She takes over 3 wide in the stretch, and Ricardo Santana is just looking for competition, and he's just a passenger here. You don't ask for anything more in a debut like this.
Yeah, I mean, she set a really nice trip in this race, and she settled it very quickly in the stretch. And that's, what it feels like. That's what good 2-year-olds do. She dominated that field. The other thing I liked about it, Dan, is she did sit off the pace early, but she didn't have to. I mean, she had speed early. She set off the pace because that's where Santana wanted her, and she was very comfortable doing that. This really did a lot of good things first time out.
Turf to dirt route to sprint, turf to dirt 2-turn route to 1-turn route for the 3, Scylla, a daughter of California Chrome, bred in the great state of Louisiana. Let's watch her race 2 starts back. Sloppy track at Delaware, and she was just too much for these horses. She broke really well. The jock kept her outside and in the clear, just off the pace. Didn't want to get any of that sloppy kickback. Scylla does the rest. She wins very, very easily over a very questionable field with only a 58 buyer.
Yeah, I don't know what she's beating there. She did it the right way, though, if you're looking for sort of an outsider who might be okay. I mean, this horse was impressive breaking her maiden. She goes turf to dirt here, and she's bred to get a distance of ground, too. So I guess at a big price, there are some things to like. We'll see if she can improve.
Joy's Rocket ran well on dirt in her debut to win. Then she ran this race, the My Dear Stakes, on a Tapeta surface up at Woodbine, and she ran well yet again. She went right to the front. She took a little bit of pressure, and she's best on this day with a solid 73 buyer speed figure. She came out of this race to face a very good filly on the turf named Toby's Heart. She was second, finishing ahead of several next out winners, was Joy's Rocket. But if you believe the Timeform US pace projector, Joy's Rocket might be facing way more heat than she's ever experienced.
I mean, we'll see. I expect her to come out of there running and try to be part of this pace. We'll see if she can do it in this spot. I have no knocks on her 3 races then. She's run well in every one of those. I don't know if she wants to go a mile. I guess we'll find out. 4 horses so far have run back out of the Bolton Landing. All 4 of them have won a stakes in their next start, and she's going to try to be the 5th. That's a very live race.
Day out of the office, the number 5 goes out for a trainer, Tim Ham, very underrated with his 2-year-olds. This one won her career debut so easily, going 4.5 at Gulfstream. Ham shipped up to the grade 3 Schuylerville. She was a big price. She didn't look like a big price on the track. Let's watch the Schuylerville day out of the office. She broke in a little bit coming out of the gate, but she found a nice spot tracking the pace 3 wide. She takes over the lead under a very confident ride on the turn, and she goes about her business to win. 83 buyer for a 2-year-old in mid-July is very good. This is a very professional performance. Now, I expected to see her in the spinaway off this effort. Ham said he gave her a break, about a month off the work tab, by design. He wanted to keep her fresh for the fall. Day out of the office, we'll see if she can get the mile. I think she has enough pedigree to do it, and she has tactical speed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't see any reason, either based on pedigree or in the way that she's run in her 2 starts to make me think she won't get the mile. And she's run really well in her first 2 starts. I mean, even her debut, that was 4.5 at Gulfstream, and she had speed in there. She was part of a multi-horse contested pace early in there before she took over. I actually felt like she did a lot of work to win that race, and it was better than it looked. And she ran even better in the Schuylerville. I mean, she dominated that field. Now, that may not have been a strong race, and the heavy favorite in there for Cassie, who, as it turns out, is just a terrible horse, was pulled up early. But this horse looked really good winning to me.
Get on the Bus, the number 6, has not exactly been treated with kid gloves by trainer Doug O'Neill. She's run twice in her career. Her career debut came in the grade 2 Sorrento behind a pretty nice 2-year-old filly in My Girl Red, and she ran very creditably in that race. And then last time out, they threw her to the Wolverine in Princess Noor, arguably the best 2-year-old filly in the country. She didn't run very well in the Del Mar debutante. You could argue she's getting a little bit of class relief here, but this is still a tough spot, and she needs a buyer boost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily get why they're going to press on and run her in another grade 1. Certainly the added distance could work for her, but these connections run in maidens in both the Champagne and the Frizette. I'm not sure why they're doing that. We'll see what happens. This isn't my kind of horse, although I recognize that she could improve.
5th Risk debuted at Saratoga for Todd Pletcher, going 6 furlongs. The way she won that race, the way she's built, makes me think she's going to handle a little bit more ground. I know it was only a 4-horse field, but she did a lot of work from the start, pressing the pace in between horses. I thought for a second at the quarter pole, she was a little bit of hot water, Mike, but she came back resolutely towards the inside and was getting away from an okay horse, no superstar. Outside post gives Johnny B some options.
Yeah, I agree with your take on her debut. It wasn't a fast race, but she did some good things in there. Worked really hard for it. Gamely prevailed at the end. You always, sort of expect these Pletcher 2-year-olds to just keep getting better with racing. Maybe she'll do that, Dan. She's going to have to really improve, though, to go with the 3 favorites in here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the grade 1 Frizette. And we like day out of the office. I have to admit, this layoff bothers me a little bit. I'm just going to trust Tim Ham here. And I think with the speed to the inside, I think Vequist has to go. I think the 4-horse has to go. I think day out of the office is going to work out a similar trip as last time. I think she'll be 3 wide, tracking the pace, and with a big chance turning into the lane.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it the same way. I just like both of her races, and I'm, happy to stick with her, especially if the morning line's right, Dan. She's going to be the 3rd choice in this race. I'd happily take that.
5241 for Mike, 5124 for me. It's the grade 1 Frizette. We prep for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies with race number Fever at Belmont on Saturday. Approximate post time 2:30 Eastern. Good luck.